People now, wow. That's the way not talking you come out. They no go know how they play. This our popular Nollywood actress, where they call Chacha Eke. She don't come out, come let us know the way the matter they play. You know, guys, it's not easy for any my people. You need to sit down with your cup of drink for your hand. Now coffee or tea you want, sit down with her. Make you for listening for all the old trauma and pain which after they go through. Sometimes if they see people for life where they behave anyhow, you know go know that something is wrong with them. This woman don't go through a lot. Not be saying our fault too. Na nature na it cause am. That's why you say if you deal with anybody, you see say the person not they do one kind, and that person not they be like that before. Not judge am. Try make you know what they happen for the person life. Because these days, some people say go date the pray, you know go know. But people, this life is not balance. It's not easy. They very tough for some people. So if you dey out there, you dey edgy, nothing they do you. You know they go through all this kind of thing. You dey fine. Just dey thank Baba God every day. Because not saying about your power, now about the grace say you dey fine. A lot of people they pass through a lot of things. But now who talk you come and now you go know. Who not talk you come and they go there for body. Sometimes it's good to talk out because some problem we voice out, talk to people, is half solved. I go live on and make una watch Chacha Eke, which they narrate all the story. But I beg, if you get new to this YouTube channel, never subscribe. Follow me, join me, smash that button when you say subscribe. If you don't already subscribe, you can say thank you and God Almighty will bless you. I better not forget to press the like button and the notification bell. Anytime when I put any post, that money very possible. We go see them. I beg my people gonna see they follow me, they share my video. I thank all of you. I appreciate you well. See you guys later. Enjoy the video. Bye.
Suspicion after another, on false accusation after another. I survived the Ritz, but I had yet another maniac episode in 2020 here in Delta State, Asaba. I was on the laptop writing script after script. Writing is my hobby. My husband was on his way to Lagos to sign a contract with our company, between our company and yet another production company. And before I could realize what was going on with me, I went mad again. And I began to do things around the house. I broke televisions, chandelier lights. I burnt all my clothes and my children's clothes. Just like I did in Enugu, I reduced everything that we owned to trash. And no, it didn't take one day. It was 3 to 4 days intense. On the 4th day, I didn't eat at all. I was only drinking water. I felt I had superpowers. I felt I was receiving a message from the divine. Or I felt like somebody was manipulating me because there was 2 entities all of a sudden. There was me watching me that couldn't stop that me in action. They had to bound me hands and legs to the hospital. And then I was still just like in the movies. It was now at the hospital, American hospital here in Asaba, that Dr. Okoba, alongside a psychiatrist, Dr. Nebe, diagnosed me of bipolar disorder. I had heard that name in the movie, but because I'm an actor, that name seemed fictitious. It felt like a name that they had to come up with to buttress a character or characterization. I didn't take that news pleasantly because it was not a pleasant news. Because what do you mean? Do you know who I am?
Chacha.
I am way too beautiful, way too talented, way too brilliant to have what they call in my area a little bit of and resumed work. The stress of the work began to jam my brain again. I had yet another episode. Just like in 2020, I had another episode in 2021. I had that episode in 2020. Every year there's always episodes. Hypomanic and manic. This particular episode, I burnt all our wedding photos, all our vital business documents, all our clothes. We had no clothes again. It's what I do. I did that. The last manic that I eventually wandered off. On the streets, many are raving mad, naked. But there are people who are not naked yet, but they are. This particular manic, between April, May, June, July, of course I burnt clothes, destroyed things, but I wandered off. 4 a.m. in the morning, my family were asleep, and I wore my clothes. I sneaked out of the house. Immediately I crossed the gate, I take off. I was running. Nobody was pushing me, but I felt like somebody's trying to kill me. Hallucinations, delusions. Because I love my husband and my 4 children at home, including a 1-year-old. But then I suddenly remembered home and I felt like, okay, the reason I ran is because this man here, I was convinced in my head that he wanted to use me to do rituals. The nature of my work doesn't support the sickness that I have. I make pretense for a living. People pay me to be pretending to be who I am not. And I've done it for over a decade plus. So I'm a guru at it. But all that pretense began to backfire on me because I began to lose myself in the midst of it all. Characters that I do not recognize were now jumping out of me. I'd come on social media and write nonsense. No, but the expensive treasure that I still have is my husband and my children. But chose bipolar to make a mess of my most treasured possessions. If you're bipolar, when you're having an episode, your favorite things, your favorite people become your worst enemies, your worst things. It's 2 poles. It shifts from this pole to that pole, and it will stay there for a long time. Just allow me to come back. I'll be taking my medicine. I promise. And then he said to me, that's just the point I wanted you to get. Because what is happening to you has happened to many people. It's happening to many people. So you don't let it ruin you. To me, the moment I realized that bipolar makes me unstable in my moods and in my dealings with people, I began to make conscious efforts to be a better person. One suspicion after another, one false accusation after another. I survived the wreaths, but I had yet another maniac episode in 2020 here in Delta State, Asaba. I was on the laptop writing script after script. Writing is my hobby. My husband was on his way to Lagos to sign a contract with our company, between our company and yet another production company, and before I could realize what was going on with me, I went mad again. And I began to do things around the house. I broke televisions, chandelier lights, I burnt all my clothes and my children's clothes. Just like I did in Enugu, I reduced everything that we owned to trash. And no, it didn't take 1 day. It was 3 to 4 days intense. On the 4th day, I didn't eat at all. I was only drinking water. I felt I had superpowers. I felt I was receiving a message from the divine. Or I felt like somebody was manipulating me because there was 2 entities all of a sudden. There was me watching every of our belongings. Clothes, shoes, bags, the children's toys. I vandalized the hotel properties. The suite in the parlor area had 3 large cushions. I ripped it all apart using a tiny knife. It was nothing but madness. That was contained in just that. What I needed was a trip to the hospital. But I didn't go to the hospital because my husband and I, who is seated here with me, supported me. Can you please rise? We attributed it to demonic voodoo, marine spirits, somebody not somewhere. Now, we kept saying, oh, it's Nollywood. You know, you can get really envious in that industry. Oh, it's my father and my mother. They never supported this marriage. Oh, I think it's your family. I think it's you, my husband. I think it's you. Because since I married you, my life just started going haywire. It was